It's the iPhone 6, and I've been asking you, Nick, how long will that iPhone 6 last? Well, we're gonna find out in this video. How long will the iPhone 6 last? Coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? How long will the iPhone 6 last? Now, I know you guys have been asking me this question, for quite a while in the comments. I do read every comment. I can't get back to all of them. I try to reply to as many as possible. And yes, that's me actually replying to your comments down there. Nobody's doing that for me. This is a one-man show around here still. But let's get back to the question, how long will the iPhone 6 last? Let me point out right before we get started or go any further here that I've been using iPhones for several years now. I'm gonna say about 5 to 7 years I've been using iPhones now. They're going on the 10th anniversary. So I have extensive experience with iPhone, and I do follow Apple as well as Samsung, as well as Google, Nexus, Pixel, HTC, OnePlus, all the big boys. I follow all of them. So, I do know quite a bit about, how long these phones will last. Now, in terms of, if you want to get specific, obviously a phone's gonna last, forever. If you leave it in your drawer, 10 years later, you pick it up, it's still there, you could still turn it on, you could still use it. But what I mean by how long will it last is how long will it be an efficient, gadget for your life each day, where you can actually use it and you could still get the same basic tasks done that you can get done on the later iPhones. I do have a 7 Plus here, my latest iPhone, and this one is only 20% quicker than the iPhone 5S. It doesn't feel too much quicker than a 5S, so I'm not gonna give this one much longer than what I said in my previous iPhone 5S video, which I believe was 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. So I'm gonna give the iPhone 6 till about 2020 in terms of its efficiency, still working good enough for everyday, tasks and things like that. But what's a little bit interesting is that, with the later iPhones having 2 gigabytes of RAM, 3 gigabytes of RAM, this makes me think that, the iPhone 6 could potentially go, out of date a little bit quicker than that, just because of the increase in RAM and how Apple might be, upping the level of, the power required for the future iOS versions. I say this because I believe that with the upcoming OLED iPhone, the OLED iPhone 8 and all the features it's going to require, I think that iOS is going to become more power hungry. It's just my take. This might not happen. Apple is really good at efficiency. But, as we progress and advance, 1 gigabyte of RAM is just not going to cut it going into the future. But buying an iPhone 6 right now, if you were wondering, I still think is not a bad idea. I mean, it can be your first entry into the iOS ecosystem, and this phone runs plenty snappy. You've seen in multiple videos of mine, if you watch the channel, iPhone 6 versus S7, SE. It can still keep up with the later phones. It's not it's not blazing fast. You're not flying in out of things like on the new phones without a sweat or a hiccup. It will sweat, it will hiccup here and there in terms of applications. But in terms of just getting your first, experience in the iOS ecosystem, it's a decent one here with the iPhone 6. I mean, the phone looks modern. Nobody can really tell it's a 6 or a 6S. If you don't have a good eye for detail, no one can really tell it's a 6 or a 7, because from the front, I wouldn't be able to tell this is a 6 or an iPhone 7, to be honest. Same exact screen size, same exact screen resolution, throw a case on it, it looks like the same phone. And also, you can get this baby for right around 200 to 230 bucks here. So, like I say, iPhone 6 will probably last somewhere in the neck of the woods of another 3 to 4 years in terms of actually being usable and functional. After 3 to 4 years, it's going to be quite slow by then. And it's just crazy how fast technology advances, but I love it. And you might want to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay on top of that, because that's what this channel is all about, is keeping you informed, having fun, vlogging, talking tech, and join the channel if you would like to do that. But how long do you think the iPhone 6 will last? I'd like to know that down below. But let's just talk about a couple more things before I wrap this video completely up. So the camera on the iPhone 6 is an 8 megapixel iSight camera. This camera is still pretty sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of the camera here. this camera is still pretty sharp. You can see you can get great detail on your pictures here, and you can shoot in at 1080p at 60 FPS. Plenty enough for content going forward. I know people are gonna have 4K TVs, but 4K is not the exact standard just yet. Not a lot of people are shooting 4K right now, so I think, you know, the camera will still be good for a couple of years here. The fingerprint scanner is still plenty fast. It's not a huge difference between first and second gen. Yeah, the second gen gives you maybe 2 to 3 milliseconds quicker of an opening time, but it's still plenty fast for a fingerprint scanner in my experience on the iPhone 6. You get Apple Pay, so you can pay for things with this phone here on the iPhone 6. And yeah, the screen might become a little bit outdated as the OLED iPhones are going to be coming in 2019. It should be coming to all iPhones by then. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up my assessment of the iPhone 6. Is it worth it to buy it here in 2017? I think it is if you're on a budget and you want to get into the iOS ecosystem. You want to try it out. You don't want to go drop in $1,000 on an iPhone. I mean, I bought the latest iPhone because I really actually get a lot of use out of this and value out of this, and for me a 7 Plus is worth it. But for those of you who just want to get into the system just to try it for the first time, the iPhone 6 will last you at least a couple more years, and by then we're pretty much probably going to upgrade our phones anyway. But that's my take on how long will the iPhone 6 last. Let me know what you guys think. How long will it last for you? Did yours bend? Is that just a big rumor floating around? Let me know. Let's chat about the iPhone 6 down below and how long it will last. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology videos like this. This was Nick here helping to master your technology. I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.